Howdy, welcome back to the channel. In this week's video, as spring has finally arrived, I decided to go out for a scooter ride. My scooter's over there, I'll show you in a minute. You will see a bit more about it. It is the Apollo City Pro 2022. Okay scooter, however though there have been a lot of problems, and eventually you will see an actual video about it. So, for the first picture here, we have a beautiful little stream flowing over here with a very small and gentle little waterfall. I don't think it's going to be a very long exposure photo, but I'm going to at least try to put the sun behind me and see what I can do. But I do like that direction though, where the bridge is. It looks kind of really interesting. Alright. It's the first picture of the day. I'm kind of rushing around a little bit, but it doesn't really matter. I do enjoy the sound of this stream, and it does look perfect, so I have to try to find a picture. Alright, 1/40th of a second at f16, ISO 100. Just a nice little picture of the water. I'm going to see if I can increase the aperture so I can see if I can increase this the time, give it a little bit more smoothness to the image. Alright, here we are trying to use the microphone and the Canon camera to see how it sounds with the waterfall around us. See how this microphone picks it up and how this one does. I can see the peak metering now though, so it definitely is picking it up right now. Alright, here we are trying to use the microphone in the Canon camera to see how it sounds with the waterfall around us. See how this microphone picks it up and how this one does. I can see the peak meter right now though, so it definitely is picking it up right now. Alright, first picture is in the bag, and I kind of like this one now, so we'll go back on our little trip here. But first, I'm going to introduce you to the Apollo City Pro, and we shall start from here. Alright, so here's what my scooter looks like. Alright, so the sun is behind me this time, but I'm just going to show you the Apollo City I have right here behind me. In upcoming videos, I'm going to do at least probably 2 or 3 part series on it, as I was stating in the 2 weeks ago, I want to say, video. So there's going to be at least 2 to 3 part video going over all the pros and the cons. Alright, I was going along the trail and I saw this kind of little ravine or like little stream of flowing water. It looks beautiful, so I decided to take out my camera, maybe take a picture of it, see how the composition looks. The sunlight is directly above, kind of just harshly coming down. So it is quite strong out right now. The light is very bright. So we'll try taking our camera out and see what happens. I don't know if I'm gonna need the tripod or not though, because it's so bright. I do, however, want to get the drone out and have a little look-see underneath here. That'd be interesting. Alright, let's see if I can get a picture of the ravine, see what happens down here. Alright, so we got a nice picture from the water coming up from the front. I may pull out the stand and actually try to set it up so I get like a beautiful panoramic shot here. But I don't really think so, because a lot of the, especially all the tags and stuff everywhere, it doesn't really look interesting. But today is such a perfect day to be out taking pictures that I'm not even going to complain. Alright, let's get the drone out and see what we can see. All right, so we got 2 pictures already today, and plus a little bit of drone footage. I'm going to continue on riding down and see if we can find anything else. We are riding on some loose rocks and like dirt and kind of like stones and stuff, so it's kind of slow going because I don't want to go too fast to falls. All right, this is a nice little area for stopping and taking pictures. The only problem is the sun is so bright. It's like it's almost hard to be out here today. All right, while I was riding home, I decided to stop because I found these little 4 or 5 bushes kind of perfectly aligned right here with the evergreens in the back. Unfortunately though, there is a crane right behind right there too. So I'm thinking I may have to readjust around ever so slightly and see if I can find a good composition because it looks interesting. It looks desolate, like barren almost, with the yellow grass and everything all around it. It's like very changing of seasons, if that makes sense. Like new life is about to begin. Very interesting. So I'm just gonna kind of go around, see if I can find any interesting angles or anything I like from this spot. All right. I'm not gonna lie either. I am standing right here kind of in the shade a little bit to cool myself down as the temperature out is extremely warm. All right, so as I was saying though, this composition, except for the dog shit over there, thanks people, any hooser. So as I was saying about the composition, except for the cranes in the background, I don't actually hate this composition. All right, this actually is a really interesting composition. Up in the top right corner, we have some of those wind-blown evergreens, and as they're kind of missing a lot of their leaves on the bottom of it, a lot of the pine needles on the bottom, just what's visible from the top, it does actually kind of look very interesting from the picture. All right, 1/125th of a second, f11, ISO 100, 2-second timer. All right, so this time there's about, I want to say 3, maybe 4 evergreens just sticking up out of the ground. Perfect little picture, so I decided to capture it. All right, the temperature has very much so dropped down now. It's almost starting to feel like spring still. But I was on the way back, and there's kind of like a little dirt path here to get back up to the road, but I found these just kind of an interesting composition with all of the dead trees and everything kind of falling over and no leaves, very few on the trees, but all of them all over the ground, making a very interesting foreground aspect. All right, hopefully you can see the background here. We have a bunch of dead trees over here with absolutely no leaves on it whatsoever. However, it looks very interesting, especially with the very few clouds in the backdrop and sort of the very few muted sunlight rays that are still sort of getting through here. So we're looking at about 1/4 of a second, f11, ISO 100. 2-second timer, 1/3 of a second. All right, that one wasn't bad. All right, now the weather is cooling down quite a bit. As you can see, I had to put on my sweatshirt. All right, so this picture should be the last one. I don't know if I'm gonna put the drone up around here. This is sort of a residential area, and there are a lot of people walking around, so might as well not do that. But Hopefully we get some more warm days like this and we'll be able to go out again. But if not, oh well, it was a good day. I'm gonna see if I can look around for another composition here. The highway again is right in the backdrop. Man, I was really rushing earlier today. It was a lot more difficult to get around and get everything set up, but at least now I'm a lot more relaxed and ready to go. I'm curious what's further on down the trail over there, but I don't really feel like going to look right now. Kind of tired, want to go home, get something to eat. I kind of like the image, how you see the two trailheads sort of merging together. So I'm going to try to see if I can try moving around a little bit. See if I can find a good composition to actually catch down the trail. All right, I first took a little photograph of the trail over here where you see kind of the two trails merged together. It looks sort of interesting, but then I saw there's a knot in the tree over here. Little knot in the tree over here, it looked interesting. So I thought, what the heck? So I saw a little knot in the tree over here and I decided to try to get an image of it. It looks sort of interesting, but with the light sort of fading, and the smell of fire around, somebody must be burning something. All right, but anywho, as the light's fading now, I think it's time to call it and go home. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. See y'all in the next one.